Good evening and welcome to Mystery. I'm Vincent Price. Tonight, political secrets and a mysterious pool of blood involve Sherlock Holmes in the adventure of the second stain. Now, Dr. Watson tells us that his friend Holmes was arrogant, vain, cold, caustic, cruel at times, disdainful of society, and quick to resent the slightest criticism. His mental processes came first, and he occasionally starved himself to divert the supply of blood from his digestive system to his mind. "I am a brain, Watson," he was fond of saying. "The rest of me is a mere appendix." Well, a man like this makes no attempt to hide any contempt he feels towards his mental inferiors. Holmes was especially contemptuous towards members of London's Metropolitan Police, with whom he was occasionally forced to work. Officer Lestrade was the official with whom Holmes came in contact most often. Now, Holmes considered him the pick of a bad lot. And though he admitted that Lestrade was quick and energetic, he ultimately found that the policeman was totally lacking in imagination and generally out of his depth. Holmes and Lestrade crossed paths and swords again tonight in the adventure of the second stain. In tonight's episode, Holmes deferred to Watson with "the fairer sex is your department." But in earlier episodes, he has admitted that his powers of observation had been blinded by a woman's beauty. But then he's also claimed to dislike and distrust the sex, and found any emotion whatsoever to be abhorrent to his cold, precise, but admirably balanced mind. Now, if some of this sounds slightly contradictory, don't be alarmed. The Sherlock Holmes adventures here are subject to frequent inconsistencies, which even an elementary reading will uncover. Conan Doyle was often writing very fast for magazine deadlines, and his treatment of detail, and especially chronology, were casual at best. Lady Conan Doyle tells us that her husband sometimes wrote his stories in a room full of people talking. He would write in a train with the hum of conversation around him, or in a cricket pavilion during the match while waiting for the rain to stop. Inconsistent or not, the stories are so interesting that most readers tend to excuse errors in the minor details. One adventure, for example, begins on a July day, only to have it be September by nightfall. In some stories, Watson's war wound is in his leg, in others, it's in his shoulder. Occasionally, the good doctor calls his landlady Mrs. Turner, even though that's not her name. Perhaps he's confused because of his own indefinite marital status. You see, scholars continue to examine conflicting references to Watson's having been married once, twice, or possibly 3 times. Fans also try to fill in the gaps which Conan Doyle seems to have left in particular areas. What was the precise layout of the rooms in Holmes's Baker Street flat? Was Holmes illiterate? And if he could read, why did Watson always have to read aloud to him all of the letters and telegrams? If he was such a poor marksman, as he tells us, how could he shoot a perfect replica of Queen Victoria's insignia into his bedroom wall? Well, the list goes on, and the 60 stories which make up the Holmes saga continue to be the object of undiminishing affection and tireless research. English and American devotees alone have managed to compile Sherlock Holmes glossaries, encyclopedias, iconographies, almanacs, songbooks. As Christopher Morley, the founder of New York's Baker Street Irregulars, so aptly concluded, never has so much been written by so many for so few. Until next time, when Holmes tracks down the man with the twisted lip, I'm Vincent Price. Good night.